I seem to have fallen down a cliff. I'm still alive, but I'm very badly injured. I think my legs might be broken, but I'll try to stand up. Oh! Yes, they are broken. Perhaps you could toss me a Band-Aid or some antibacterial cream. I'm in an extraordinarily large amount of pain. The bone has gone through the skin. I fear it might be gangrenous. The wound is beginning to smell a little like almonds, which is not good. Please? No one?
Sorry.
I'll try the other leg. Oh!
Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rhythm Section podcast, and produced by SRP Studios Podcasting, srpstudiosllc.com.
Catch new episodes every Tuesday morning on Apple and Spotify, 6 p.m. Central on YouTube and Facebook, and 7:30 p.m. on radio-memphis.com. Derrick broke his leg.
Follow us at the Rhythm Section pod.com for all channel links and episodes. So, what's going on, everyone? This looks a little different. Sounds a little different.
Back.
We are back. We are officially back. But as you can see, we're on Zoom still. A couple weeks ago, we put out a quick little update episode, and we said we'd be in studio for the beginning of the season. I was naive and a little rambunctious, I guess, thinking that
Over anxious
to think that as soon as I got my splint off, I'd be in my boot on 2 feet. Not the case. Still on the crutches, but things are going well. I still have a couple more weeks of non-weight bearing directions, and then PT is gonna start here. But so I was like, Jeff, slight change in plans. We're not canceling. We're not postponing anymore. We've made a promise that we're going to be back on the 23rd with Mickey Thomas. Here we are. So, Jeff, how are you, sir? How you been?
Man, I'm doing great. It's I miss the studio, but Zoom is very convenient.
It is. Don't get too comfortable with it, though.
No, I know.
Because it's just not the same.
No.
It worked out where today's interview, Mickey Thomas, was in California. So, of course, we're going to be on Zoom there. And we are better set up for Zoom now. So we can do more national-esque. National-esque.
Yeah, is that a word?
Well, I think I just made something up.
I don't know how to spell it.
I don't know how to spell it. But
what movie was that intro from? I remember that intro, and I can't remember the movie.
Oh, Austin Powers 2.
Yes. Okay.
I thought the talking about broken legs would be fitting. So we're back. We're on Zoom here for the next week or so. Good to be back. It's been a long break. Obviously we've updated everybody on my situation, and you know why.
Yeah.
Now we have a special guest coming in our intro here in a few minutes that's going to help us talk about Fall Fest. But before we get to her, quick prayers to James Cricket Warren Jr., his family, the Fast Mothers family. For those that don't know, he was a longtime guitar player for the Fast Mothers, and just a all around killer musician in the community, and just passed away after battling cancer for some time. I'm throwing up some pictures of him right now. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I believe it was pancreatic.
I believe that's correct, but I'm not positive either.
And he went through a huge battle and came on the other side of it, went into remission, and then and got back. The band started performing here and there again. They did a show at Radio Memphis, which you and I were at. And that was actually the last time I saw Cricket. I never really knew him.
Right.
Just hello here and there. He was a very quiet guy. Did you know him?
I didn't. I mean, I'd met him a handful of times, but he, the nickname Cricket was there for a reason.
Yeah.
Quiet guy.
Yeah.
Pretty private. But just seemed like such a sweet, nice person. just a great dude. And I've seen so many people just heartbroken over losing him. And I know the Fast Mothers are hurting. They're a close group of guys. They've been at this for a long time. And so, yeah, our condolences to everyone.
Yes, to Chris and Tracy Rubel, Jonathan Davis, and Wayne Walker. Prayers for you and, of course, Cricket's family. So just wanted to put that in there that we're thinking of y'all. We've become friends with the Rubels over time now because of the show. And
I hate to do this to you our first time back, but is it John Davis? I think it's John Davis. You said Jonathan.
I did.
Does he I don't think he goes by Jonathan. No, I've never heard him.
Jonathan Davis is the singer for Korn.
Okay. So John Davis, we apologize. Derrick is a world-class fuck-up when it comes to names.
Watch your language, sir.
Sorry, you can edit that out if you need to.
No, we all know we can swear on here, but all right. Well, again, so prayers to the Warren family. All right, let's move forward now. Let's bring in our guest, our special guest for our intro. Thanks to this person, we were able to eventually connect with Mickey Thomas and make this interview happen, and figured out a way to make it all time out so we can also promote Fall Fest. Ladies and gentlemen, the lady behind the festival, Miss Stephanie Wilson-Nichols. What's going on, Stephanie? Hello.
Happy to be with you guys. I've seen this show a gazillion times, and
Nice.
Yeah.
That's more than I've seen it.
yeah. I have to edit it, so I'm forced to watch.
Yeah, a lot.
But so real quick on the front end, Saturday, October 18th, at the campus of Catholic Church of the Incarnation, 360 Bray Station Road, Collierville, Tennessee. We got all kinds of bands we want to talk about, but the headliner for the whole weekend is Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. Show starts at 8:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. fallfestmemphis.org, or you can go to starshipcontrol.com. There's a $10,000 cash giveaway at 8 p.m. we're going to get into. So, we will help. We'll let Stephanie help us, give us all the details. But Stephanie, thanks for doing this. Thanks for the connection and helping us get with Mickey and making all that happen for us. And let's talk Fall Fest.
Yeah, absolutely. Our music fest actually kicks off the day before. So that's Friday, October the 17th. And, this is part of a large festival. It's all a fundraiser for the Dorothy Day House, which is an organization that is devoted to serving homeless families. And then we've also added All Fours Rescue League, which is not your typical dog rescue. They really focus on pets and pet owners in underserved communities. So that's where our money's going to. That's why we do what we do. So we kick off Friday night with Rock the Boat. And right after that is Thump Daddy. So that is what our headliner on our music fest looks like. Our music fest stage looks like on Friday night. And then we switch to Saturday, which we have a whole host of people on Saturday, and I'd love to mention them. But as you mentioned, Starship featuring Mickey Thomas obviously is the big show. We have Landslide, a Memphis tribute to Fleetwood Mac, opening for Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. And they come on at 7. So our gates open at 6 on that concert. And then, like you mentioned, so it starts at 7 o'clock with Landslide. At 8, something really fabulous happens. Somebody's going to walk away $10,000 richer. Tickets are on sale. The same place you're going to get your Fall Fest concert tickets. You can get your raffle tickets, $5 a piece. Yeah. And how last year's winner, she bought one single ticket. So they are just $5 and have a chance on winning $10,000. And then the main attraction is Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. And we could not be more excited about that. So,
yes. Yeah. And we're excited to talk about his interview here after the ad break because fun, super nice guy. He could not have been cooler with us.
Really.
So to go back to the festival, so So then, so Friday we got Rock the Boat, Thump Daddy. Saturday through the day we have a list of bands, but then starting at 7 with Landslide, it's much like Starship. Those are ticketed concerts. So so those are on a different stage. So we got 2 stages?
Yeah. So we have 2 separate stages. They're both national level stages. They're the same exact size in 2 different locations. And Church of the Incarnation has just been fabulous. They have a very large campus, so it makes it the perfect site for our festival. But on Saturday we kick off, and Jeff will be glad to know because he was part of last year when we started super early. Nobody is rocking out at 10 o'clock in the morning. They're just not. And so we've started that festival stage at 11, and we've got the Risky Whiskey Boys at 11, followed by Jeff's band Generation X. And then after that, we've got Hairspray Nation after that. And then a band, we had this group last year, they're called Cruise Control. They play a lot of Motown. They're just really fabulous. And then the last band on that stage is Southbound. So all of that is with your free $5 admission to the festival. You can take part in the Friday night music, the Saturday all day music. But as you mentioned, if you're going to watch the Starship concert with Landslide opening, that is a ticketed show, and you do need tickets for that.
So if you ordered a ticket for Starship, that includes Landslide, right?
Absolutely.
And does that also include general admission for the whole festival, or is that another charge?
If you have a concert ticket for Saturday, you do not pay that $5 admission fee to get into the festival. Just show your ticket and come in. Right. And there's so many other things to do. You don't have to wait until concert to show up. You can get there, and like I said, all of the music, but there's big time carnival rides, like the Delta Fair rides. Not as many, but still big rides. Right. Car show, barbecue cooking contest, vendors. It's just so much to do.
So we will be there. We're we're in the VIP. We're going to be right up front.
And the main thing that you should take away from that is if you get a ticket to Starship featuring Mickey Thomas as an added bonus, you get me. That's just how it works.
Where is it? I'm out of practice here.
Very nice.
You'll know our tickets start at $30 for general admission, and those are lawn seats. So you're going to want to bring a lawn chair, a blanket, something like that. But also, then we have another section in front of the general admission, which is VIP. It's a table of 8, so you have a place to sit. You are at a reserved spot for you.
Right.
But then the first 2 rows are what we like to call VIP experience. And those, we only have 2 tables left in that whole section. And what that is obviously premium seating, but everybody gets a very, very nice swag bag. And then you get a cocktail drink ticket in that bag that you can redeem at the VIP bar on the field. So,
Jeff, you can have my ticket.
Sure.
And but you're missing one part, Stephanie. I read that also Derrick and Jeff get to jam with the band.
That was supposed to be a surprise, you guys.
Oh, okay. You know? Hey, look, as long as I get to sit right in front of Jeff Adams, that's all that matters. That's where I want to be, man. Yeah. Front center right there where Jeff's going to be playing. You know?
Well, this, of course, everyone knows this laugh and who it's associated with. So I'd be remiss. Paul Moreau deserves credit here to then introduce me to you, Stephanie. So that's really where it kicks off. He calls me all frantically, as Paul does. Hey, man. And all these ideas. And you want to talk to Mickey Thomas? And I'm like, what? Whoa, back up. No. So he told me about you, Stephanie. And we, actually, no. I'm wrong, Stephanie. We kind of communicated with you way back when for 38 Special.
That's right.
But I didn't realize, like,
you didn't put 2 and 2 together?
Yeah. It was really thanks to Paul making this connection that we actually started talking and texting and the whole thing. But that's right. The 38 Special thing was supposed to, we were supposed to have them, I believe, or with the singer, correct, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And we had to cancel because probably me. And then it turned out they ended up canceling the show anyway.
Right.
It was It's not happened.
Yeah, it's all good. It turned out our good friends Elevation Memphis Tina Turner Tribute Experience kicked butt and closed the night out. But I'm looking forward to this year. Sounds like this one's going to be more involved, and what a great headliner. So, are we missing anything, Stephanie?
I'm sorry?
Are we missing anything that you'd like to talk about?
The fact that, we're super excited about our new location in Collierville. I mean, I already thank the church for doing that, but we have seen just an influx of people. I mean, like, we already have more pre-registrants for our car show than we had cars in the car show last year. And so we're just super excited to be out in Collierville. It's a wonderful town. And I just feel like we're going to have a really large turnout this year. So we've got parking. A lot of people like to know about the parking situation if they're coming to the concert.
Okay.
So we do have some paid parking on site, but there is a lot directly across from the church that you literally just walk across the street. We will have ample parking there. If we run out there, we have a free shuttle with free parking at the town center of Collierville, Home Depot in Collierville, and a free shuttle that is provided by the good folks over at Ave Maria Home and Bartlett. And they are providing a free shuttle to take folks back and forth so that they don't have to walk down, street and all. And we've got plenty of security. So we're super excited about it, and just can't urge people enough to go ahead and get those tickets. I know that a lot of people like to wait and see what the weather's going to be like, but it is a rain or shine, and there's not going to be rain. There's not going to be rain.
We're going to will it to be beautiful outside, nice and warm, not too hot.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Look, we're going to take a quick ad break here, and by quick I mean probably very long, and then we're going to come back, and then that's usually when we then talk about and give kind of a tease on the interview that we're fixing to play for everybody. We're going to bring you back on the show, and feel free to have fun with us and tell us any Mickey Thomas stories that you may have. Oh, where are we at here? Jeffrey, we are so out of practice. Oh, my God. Where are we at here?
David Griffin Audio.
There we go.
What we're doing?
First, we need music.
You need music. Yeah.
We got to have our music.
Yeah. We're rusty, man.
Very. All right, bands, are you ready to take your show to the next level? David Griffin Audio brings big sound, bright lights, flames, and sparks to every event.
Experience the largest QSC system in the area with David Griffin Audio. No job is too big or too small. Follow on Facebook at David Griffin Audio for updates.
Call 901-299-1344 or email davidgriffinaudio@gmail.com. Bring the energy, bring the show. David Griffin Audio. All right. Notice David is back.
Yeah, man.
Guess who else is back? More Loud.
Absolutely.
More Loud proudly pays tribute to the king of surf guitar, Dick Dale. Guitarist Jason Moore captures Dale's signature sound with aggressive, fast, and highly rhythmic playing, featuring rapid alternate picking, heavy reverb, and a powerful staccato attack that define Dick Dale's sound.
In addition to honoring Dick Dale, More Loud performs instrumental rock and roll versions of classics like Smoke on the Water, Louie Louie, and House of the Rising Sun, all infused with that unmistakable Dick Dale energy.
More Loud is booking for weekends and outdoor shows. Visit moreloud.com for booking, music, updates, and more. That's MOORELOUD.com. All right, Area 51 is one of the premier bands in Memphis and North Mississippi, bringing you songs from classic artists such as Boston, Van Halen, Genesis, and the Eurythmics. Keep shining with Josh Shinan.
Absolutely. Upcoming shows: Friday, September 26th, Hadley's, 8 p.m. with Jacob Turner on drums. And Saturday, September the 27th, Josh and Lance will be performing with Elevation Memphis, a Tina Turner tribute experience at the Tina Turner Heritage Days statue unveiling in Brownsville, Tennessee at 6:30 p.m. I just saw a post about that on Facebook this morning.
I'm realizing the script I wrote there is not very well done. Thank
No,
you, sir.
it's not.
You
but I got through it.
You ad-libbed and make it right. You made it right.
I managed.
Follow them on Facebook at Area 51 Memphis. All right, we got our friends DeSoto Local back. Who is DeSoto Local? And what are they? Well, they are a digital advertising network throughout DeSoto County. They have moved the outdoor billboard concept indoors to high-traffic areas, connecting local businesses to their customers.
Their indoor billboards are in popular places all over town. These screens display full-motion ads about the business hosting the screen, ads for local businesses in the area, and relevant local content.
And you can advertise your business with DeSoto Local. Contact Brandy Faulkner today at 901-831-3212 and visit DeSotoLocalBiz.biz for more information.
I really love them because it's so cool when I get a phone call from somebody saying, "Hey, I just saw you and Derrick on the screen. It's such and such." It's pretty cool.
It is cool. All right, here we go. Our music, courtesy of Sebastian Hines.
And yeah.
This is our music for the band dates. So, band dates coming from where, Jeff? Coming from the Musicians Booking Agency, also known as Steve Owens.
Yes.
Looking for the best live music in Memphis? The Musicians Booking Agency connects top bands with the city's hottest venues. Whether you're booking talent or looking for gigs, they've got you covered.
Follow on Facebook at the Musicians Booking Agency for updates on upcoming shows and new artists.
Yes, and again, contact Steve Owens at 901-870-6846 if you're a venue looking for a band, or if you're a band looking for venues to play at. He is your guy to call. All right, shows for this week. Thursday, September 25th. We got Headband at Mulligan 64, Grand Theft Audio with Hadley's, which I believe the bass player for Grand Theft Audio is Carlos Spicy Wiener, I believe. Right?
Yes. That's his alias.
And Alan Bone and David Haynes and Josh Haynes. 901 Rocks at the Shake Rag, and 5 for the Kill at Bonterre down here in Nesbitt from 7 to 9. That's all Thursday, September 25th.
Saturday, September 27th, Carlos Echoes at Southland.
And then Sunday, September 28th, we got Kitchen and Lacrosse.
Nicely done, sir.
At Hadley's, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. We got all kinds of bands, as y'all know. Right About Sound, we got Headband, Midnight Train, 901 Rocks, and The Boneyard. Right About Sound. Never heard of them. That's a new.
Nope.
It's a new band to join the roster. But look, Headband, Midnight Train, 901 Rocks, The Boneyard are some of those bands that play all these benefits. I mean, they're just so quick to, boom, show up and donate their time. So hopefully y'all can make it and raise money for that event. And then Sunday Originals are back, Jeff.
Yeah.
So that's again put on by Steve Owens. The first 2 were at a different location, but now it has moved to Knuckleheads Sidecar on Witten Road. That's going to be Sunday, again, the 28th from 6 to 9 p.m. No cover. Okay, the previous ones had a cover charge. No cover charge for this one. And the bands are Sucker Punch, Silent Scream, and Fading Melodies.
Yep.
So some fresh names there. So good on Steve to bring some bands to some new bands to a new audience, right? New bands.
I don't think we can say enough about Steve and his efforts to bring original music out to the forefront. We are over the last, I don't know, couple of decades, we're mainly a cover band town, but it is nice to have the original music getting out there again. And Steve, we appreciate you, brother.
I think you're half right. I think it's still an original music town, just no place for them to go.
Right.
They're less. Right. Yeah. So now they're going to be more noticed, thanks to Steve and other people. So, but yeah, I see what you're saying. If you go back to way before I was ever here, way before, back in the heyday for you in the Stage Stop era, this was, I mean, that was an original music scene.
Absolutely.
Right? So, all right, well, let's bring Stephanie back in. How are you, Stephanie? While we're talking way back when, are you from Memphis?
Yeah, I'm from Memphis. Was born here. Lived in St. Louis for about 1.5 years when I was a little kid, but other than that, here all my life.
Cool. So you're right there with the whole Stage Stop years and.
You know, I'm about to like say something that's probably going to be unbelievable, but I did not go to Stage Stop until probably about 8 to 10 years ago, like for the very first time.
Wow.
But I lived right around the corner from Stage Stop, and I always saw, all of the cars and motorcycles and everything there, and I always wondered, like, what is the big attraction? And I didn't understand or grasp that until much later. Obvious.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Did you go to like other places we've heard tons of times, like Rascals, the Daisy?
Yeah, what was that one? What was that? Was it Denim and Diamonds or something like that? That was absolutely not my thing. But
Denim and Diamonds was more of a country type bar, and it was they may have had live music there, but I don't remember seeing live music. I just remember line dancing, and the place was huge, and it was always packed elbow to elbow. It was ridiculous.
There was actually an acoustic duo or something there when I was there. I remember that's what stood out, which is why I just mentioned it I was not, but I missed out on a lot younger.
Yeah.
So glad to be involved in like the music scene. I am not a musician. I play piano. I used to play competitively years ago, but I'm so out of practice. I don't even have a piano. I have a keyboard, but that's about it. But I missed out on a lot, but I have had so much fun catching up and learning and all that. And of course my heartthrob that I had my entire life was Rick Springfield, and I was just at his show at Graceland the other night. My 3 sons they are, my youngest is like major super fan. He's been on stage with 4 or 5 times then. So yeah, super fun. Y'all are making fun of me.
No, we're not making fun of you. We're just laughing at these silly sounds because let's move on to the great Mickey Thomas. So again, this connection started with Paul to you to then his assistant, his management, and then and communicated with them through the end here, and then we finally had Mickey on Zoom. He came to us from his, as you will see in the video, amazing office at his place, and I'm just going to tease the backdrop, the wall behind him.
It was pretty neat.
It's pretty amazing, and a lot different than mine. So obviously I got the logo here, but you can't tell. But my bathroom and my bedroom's right behind me. If I took my screen off here, you could see my toilet. Oh, how amazing is that? Right? So, anyways, so Mickey was great. As you know, he's the lead singer for Starship Featuring Mickey Thomas. Important to say it that way. And we get into that, don't we, Jeff? We talk about the reasoning for the new name. And we absolutely asked before we started the interview if we could go there because it involves a lawsuit. But I thought I thought a lot of people would be interested in learning about that because we hear it all the time when people have ownership of a name and a trademark, and then they go on the road and they can't use the band name, so they have to redo it. So like Josie Scott's Saliva, right? He can't go out as Saliva, right?
Right.
So there's a thing with Starship in that regard. So we go there too. We talk about the Beatles. Oh man, he went to a concert in 1965. He was, I talk about when I'm a teenager and how Nirvana hit, right? Which was a big movement, but no bigger movement than the Beatles back, and then to be of that right age to say they went to a concert, down in Georgia, which is where he's from. He's from, I forget what part of Georgia, Cairo, Georgia, something like that. Jeff, did you know that he was the lead singer on the song Fooled Around and Fell in Love?
Yep.
I did not know that. I learned before this interview at some point, but it took
it's not something that I've known for a really long time, but I did know it before this interview. I've known it for a few years, but who doesn't want to be the voice on a song that iconic?
Yeah.
That was with the Elvin Bishop band.
Yep.
I will tell you that he sings "Fooled Around and Fell in Love" at every one of his concerts, and it's one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we can't wait for that too. But yeah, I mean, and we talk about how I asked this, and he doubled down on how awesome Elvin Bishop was as a person, to the point where he was generous and didn't mind that it was a different voice for what ended up being their biggest hit. He was fine with giving Mickey lead vocals and solos on multiple songs, and there wasn't an ego there where that could have been like, damn, like, it's not my voice on this massive hit, but so we break into how that all went down. There was a connection I kind of skipped over. He lived in Memphis for like 6 months. Yeah, back in the early 70s, and he was in a band called Randy and the Radiants. Yeah. So anyone out there that was around back then, you may have heard of Randy and the Radiants. So that was led by one Mickey Thomas. Yeah. And then we start breaking into how he started getting into the Starship world, which he joined back in 79. You know, this guy's been pounding the pavement for some time. And then we break into the lawsuit, and there was a break, and then early 90s it switches to Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. And we dig deeper into that. And then, of course, we had to, Jeff, pick on Jeff Adams. Right?
And the entire Memphis connection with this band. I mean, there's a huge connection there with Jeff Adams and John Roth, and it's very, very cool to have local guys doing it on a national level like that.
It was so fun. I mean, Mickey got our sense of humor immediately, and we could tell immediately he had a good one. And we had some insight from hanging out with Jeff out with the Fulps, typically at Windy City here in Hernando, Mississippi. He's always spoken so highly of Mickey. So I was comfortable going into this, Stephanie. Like I was comfortable talking to this guy because of what I'd heard through John and Jeff. But we know Jeff more. So, of course, we were able to pick on Jeff more because Jeff, I mean, let's face it, we love you, Jeff. We love you. And I know his brother is watching right now, and we appreciate your support, too. And I hope he's laughing at how much we pick on his brother, but it's because we love Jeff. But
I think every time you mention Jeff, you should hit the little whistle sound where because he is sexy. That's it.
But it was good
right now.
fun.
Stephanie is wondering why she ever agreed to come on this program.
I don't know. Like I said, I've watched you guys several times. So
thank you.
I was totally prepared for this.
Well, I already knew what idiots you are. I didn't mind coming here.
And next time we'll have you on again to promote something. Anytime you have another festival or anything, we'll have you back on. And next time we'll have you in the studio. So
for sure,
I would be remiss if I did not mention my two partners in crime, which is Jamie Coggin, who's also my sister, and Coffee Chavone. It's just the three of us that put the entire festival on. And we have all seen Starship before because we had them in 2021. And why would we have them back, just 4 years later? Well, that's because we get asked all the time, when are you having Starship featuring Mickey Thomas again? Get them again. It was so great. They honestly do sound exactly like the record.
Yep.
Will not be disappointed. The man can still sing. I mean, every note, hit every high note. It is just absolutely fabulous. And of course, the other members of the band. And of course, we have a soft spot for John and Jeff, but they're all just
they are
perfection. And my parents were there at that 2021, and they were honestly, after the Fulps, they were the first to buy a table. So, and then it was my parents, and so they're like, table. So it's just an awesome time, and we can't wait. It's October 18th. It's less than a month.
Yes,
Derrick and I will be sitting up front with the Fulps. They asked us to join them early on. So if you see Donna dancing on a tabletop, that's where Derrick and I will be hanging out right there.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll know where to spot you.
I hope I'm off crutches by then. I'm still going to be in a boot.
Oh.
I'll still be hobbling around, but I'm excited to be there too. 2-day music fest, Fall Fest Memphis Presents. So it starts Friday, October 17th. On the festival stage, we have Rock the Boat starting at 5:30, then Thump Daddy following it. Saturday, the following day, we got Risky Whiskey Boys, Generation X, Hairspray Nation, Cruise Control, Southbound. And then we move to the concert stage starting at 7. Buy your tickets. fallfestmemphis.org. We got Landslide at 7. 8:30, Starship featuring Mickey Thomas with a massive $10,000 raffle giveaway at 8 o'clock. On and on and on. There's going to be so much things to do, fun things to have. We're looking forward to it, like Jeff said. Can't wait to see you there, Stephanie. What do you say, Jeff? Shall we try to close this thing out?
Let's do it.
Boom. Again, thanks for joining us, Stephanie. And if anyone has any questions, they can go to fallfestmemphis.org. Is that correct?
Yes, you'll see everything we talked about and a wealth of information we didn't talk about at fallfestmemphis.org. You can get your tickets there of all kinds. You just come out and join us and have a great time.
Awesome. Alrighty, so let's go, Jeff. Big Note Music Lessons. Of course, we're still going to help support Manny, my buddy Manny Zepeda. Big Note Music Lessons offers one-on-one and group lessons for guitar, bass, keys, drums, and voice. Try a free lesson, no obligation. Visit bignotemusiclessons.com, complete the submission form, and your free lesson.
Yeah, Radio Memphis, Rick and Monica, thank you guys for all you do. Start your Radio Memphis day in the morning with Rick and Monica, 9:30 to 2 p.m. Central for a wild ride of fun segments like News from the Stupid, That Guy, This Guy, Crime Time, and more. Radio-memphis.com.
And thank you to all who have donated to our tip bucket over the years now. We very appreciate it, very much appreciate it. You can do so by clicking our Venmo and or Cash App links in the description, or you can search the Rhythm Section Pod on either app.
Yeah, and all the sponsors that came back, thank you guys. Without you, we can't do this. So
all of
them. Yeah,
they all came back from the way where we started last season. They're all back. So thank you all.
Love it. Yeah, follow us at therhythmsectionpod.com. You will see our entire catalog of over 100 episodes and links to our YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram channels.
All right, and thanks again, Stephanie.
Yes.
Go to fallfestmemphis.org for all the information and tickets. We hope to see you all there. In between now and then, go see a band, go support some local music, and enjoy our interview with the great Mickey Thomas from Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. Welcome to our special feature interview with the one and only Mickey Thomas, everybody. I don't have my sound effects right now.
Yeah, we usually have some sound effects where we can play loud applause.
Yeah.
We don't have that today.
But yes,
you guys.
You all know him. Starship featuring Mickey Thomas, and has been keeping the legacy of that beautiful music moving forward for many years. We have mutual friends in the band with John Roth and Jeff Adams, which we want to talk about.
Yeah.
We want to talk about your early projects, of course, the journey with Starship and some other notable stuff. But first, again, thank you for doing this with us, Mickey. And as I mentioned in the pre-show, your backdrop is a whole lot different than me and Jeff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just sitting here in my office at home, and so it's kind of the place where I hang all the paraphernalia and all that stuff.
Yeah, I could have gold records behind me, but they would be ones that I actually paid up.
So here's me and my
one of them up here. Since we're talking about Memphis, is a Survivor record that I sang with Jimmy Jamison.
Yes, sir.
Who is a famous Memphis singer, obviously.
Yeah. Well, let's try to go back to that. I just wanted to be a jokester and show you that I'm in my bedroom, and this door right there is my bathroom. So that's why I'm blurring out. And then Jeff's in my living room, and the wall is bare. So
no records.
Very cinematic.
So where are you sitting right now?
I'm at home, sitting in my office here in Rancho Mirage, California.
Okay.
Which is where I'm at when I'm not on the road. It's right next door to Palm Springs. So
Okay.
I've been living here in this area for 20 years now.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah.
Because looking, researching some of your stuff, I see you're from Georgia.
Yeah.
Originally?
Grew up in South Georgia. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was the leap Georgia to California, or was there anything between? Well, we're going to get into the 6 months you lived in Memphis.
Yeah.
But
Other than that, it's all been Georgia and California.
Okay.
I lived in Lake Tahoe for a few years, which is, right on the California-Nevada border, and I was on the Nevada side of Lake Tahoe, but very close to California.
Were you close to any of these fires over the last few years? Have you been safe from all the fires?
Yeah, thankfully. For us, we've been, I'm about maybe a 2.5 hour drive east of Los Angeles. So, and we're in the desert, so there's not a whole lot of trees. So we've been relatively safe out here. We get smoke, of course, from the fires, but that's pretty much it.
Do you get ash? All the remnants?
Yeah, depending on how the wind's blowing.
Oh man, well, I'm glad you're okay.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I am too. It's always tough when you say that. When people ask you about that, and you say, "Oh yeah, we're fine." We've been lucky because you do feel lucky, and you feel bad for the people who aren't lucky.
It's awful.
Like, we're living down south when a hurricane's coming, and you're always kind of like, "Oh, I hope that it maybe jogs a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right and misses us." But by doing that, you're just wishing that some other poor guy's going to get the brunt of it rather than you.
And it's hard to predict. It has a life of its own. So
yeah.
Well, good deal. Look, I always like kind of going in chronological order and starting with influences and everything. There's a big bullet point here in Wikipedia. You were inspired to be a musician because at a Beatles concert you went to in 1965. Yeah. So I'm a huge Beatles fan. I want to pick your brain on that. But while we're talking early, beginnings, prior to that concert, were you a musician or a singer, or is this something that you grew up doing?
Not something I grew up doing. I was already a Beatles fan, because as soon as the Beatles came along in early 1964, I was a victim of Beatlemania right from the get-go.
Yeah.
So me and my best friends, we had dabbled a little bit, and with our cheap guitars in the garage, trying to figure out chords to Beatle records and stuff, but we weren't very good. But once we saw the Beatles, me and my group of best buddies, we all went together to see the Beatles, and that truly inspired us to, okay, we got to bear down and get serious about this now. We got to see if we can, do this somehow, some way. And we did, I had my high school band, and we were pretty terrible, but it was a start.
Well, what was the name? Did it have a name?
Yeah, the Inner Souls.
The Inner Souls.
Yeah, kind of a play on words there, Inner Souls, SOULS.
Of course. I mean,
you're
not going to do souls like your shoe sole.
No.
Right? But while on that word soul, this is great. Going back to the Beatles concert in '65, were they touring Rubber Soul? Was that Rubber Soul out then?
I don't think it may have just come out. As I recall, Rubber Soul came out in the fall of '65. So, no, actually, Rubber Soul maybe came out in '66 because I don't think they did anything from Rubber Soul. About the newest stuff they were doing then was songs from Help. They did Ticket to Ride and Help, the song Help. And
So, it sounds like the Help.
You couldn't really hear much anyway.
Yeah, so
the streaming.
Where was the concert? In Georgia?
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. It was at the baseball stadium. The Atlanta Braves had just moved from Milwaukee to Atlanta, and they had built a brand new baseball stadium for them. But the Braves had not actually played a game there yet.
Oh, okay.
So the Beatles played there before the Braves did.
They opened up the stadium.
Yeah.
And their vocals were coming from the PA system, right? And
there was the PA system, and the stage was set up at second base. And then they had like 4 huge drivers, these just exposed horns on either corner of the stage, and no speaker cabinet or anything, just these big exposed gigantic horns, which were just a lot of kind of really trebly high end. And you could hear, and then of course the PA system from the stadium had the music coming out too. But mostly all you could hear was the screaming.
Yep. You hear that all the time. And that's why, we're not going to hang on the Beatles too long, but that's why they eventually stopped touring, right? They felt it was so pointless. No one could really hear them. And in the early days, they're a rock band. I'm sorry, what?
The show in Atlanta was the very first time that they ever used monitors. So it was the first time they could sort of hear themselves a little bit.
Isn't that crazy?
And, yeah.
And when you hear like Shea Stadium, they have recordings of it.
Yeah.
And their harmonies are still great. And they cannot hear anything. They can't hear their instruments. Ringo's back there. He's watching John wiggle his butt to keep time with the song. Like, they could not hear anything yet. They were so tight still and good, and the harmonies were there. It's amazing.
Harmonies are there. Their pitch was great. They were singing in tune, and like you said, it was pretty amazing that they were able to do that. And it's just another testament as to how brilliant they were. It's one of, there's people used to always say, well, what's going to be the next Beatles, or who's going to be the next Beatles? And that was kind of impossible, because it was not a once in a lifetime, but a once in a ever kind of occurrence was the Beatles. My friend used to say people always wondered what was going to be the next Beatles, and it turned out to be MTV.
For sure. Yeah. Which Starship, was all over.
Yeah.
All over MTV too. We'll get to that. But so after the Beatles, and you said you fired up a band, Inner Souls, how old are you during this? Are you like a teenager?
I was 15 when I saw the Beatles. Yeah.
So moving into adulthood, what did that look like? Were you from get-go, were you a working singer or?
Well, no, I graduated high school, went away to college, and at that point, I sort of thought that would be the end of it, when I said goodbye to all my high school buddies, my best buds, and the guys that I'd been in my high school band with. And then I got to college, and I found there were a lot of other guys that were kind of in the same boat as me, who had, left their high school bands behind, but were still kind of eager to play and sing. And so I formed a band in college as well. And we used to play, we played the student center and some of the local bars around town and stuff. And
sure.
So it just kind of kept the interest going. It kept it alive in me, even though still I never thought it was going to be something that would be a career opportunity for me. But it kind of kept the spark going.
Is there a specific vocalist that you really geared towards as a good main influence?
Wow. Well, there was the Beatles, obviously, in the beginning, John and Paul. And then after I got interested in music and living in the South, being from the South, I started to gravitate towards a lot of the great soul singers from that era. I really loved Otis Redding and Wilson Pickett and Percy Sledge, Sam and Dave. So I couldn't really pick out like one of those, but it was that genre of guys, of singers.
That's
really
all Memphis. That's all Memphis.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah. And then as fate would have it, on my first solo album that I did in 1977, I had most of the Memphis group play on it.
Awesome.
Steve Cropper and Duck Dunn and Booker T.
Duck Dunn.
On that album. Yeah.
I've mentioned this before, but I became a big fan of Cropper and Duck Dunn through the movie Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah, the Blues Brothers.
The soundtrack. And then I broke into Sam and Dave because of them and everything. And I love that sound. And it's interesting because obviously our show is based in the Memphis area. This is where we live. So a lot of the local guys that we interview, of course, they're connected to the Memphis scene, sometimes as far back as then. But it's interesting. You're still in the South, but you're quite a ways away. But yet Memphis sound was the thing, right? Was that? Yeah. I mean, they were like Motown, right? Motown had their thing. Well, Memphis had its deal as well, and it stretched nationwide, correct?
Absolutely. The Memphis sound, the Stacksville sound, it was, and some of it was recorded in Muscle Shoals, which is not too far south from Memphis. And it had its own style. It was kind of, Motown was great. I mean, I love a lot of the Motown singers. I love Marvin Gaye, especially, but Motown was kind of slick. more polished than the Memphis sound.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that the true soul, I think, came from the Memphis sound, from Otis and Wilson and Sam and Dave. And this is a little grittier, edgier.
Motown was not shy with the reverb, right? Like everything.
And the orchestrations and stuff, but Memphis sound was all, it was Cropper and Duck and Booker T, and then the Great Horns.
Yeah.
That was the Memphis sound.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, eventually you end up moving to Memphis. And starting a project there back in '73. So tell us about that decision and what made you move out.
I moved to one of the bands I was playing with when I was in college. One of the guys who was playing with me was originally from Memphis, and I got to be really tight with him. He was a really good. He could kind of play everything, mostly keyboards and horns, but he was a real good horn player, sax player, and so we had a band together in Valdosta, Georgia, which is where I was going to college, and then that dissolved, and he said, "Hey, come with me to Memphis because I used to play with this great band in Memphis, and they're still together, a band called Randy and the Radiants."
Yeah.
And I've told them about you and us, and they're interested in hooking up with us. So we moved to Memphis and hooked up with Randy and the Radiants. And they had a pretty strong local following back in the early 70s. Donnie Bear on guitar. Of course, Randy was the guy that the band was named after. His last name was not Radiant, but I'm trying to remember Randy's last name now. It's escaping me. But they were a great band, great musicians, and we did that for about 6 months probably, playing around Memphis. We played this rock club in I think it was Montgomery, Alabama, or somewhere, Birmingham maybe, and we got fired because we weren't loud enough.
Well, how about that?
Only time I've ever been fired for not being loud enough.
Wow.
Yeah. I can tell you in the Memphis cover scene, that never happens.
No, right. Yeah.
We get told to turn down way too often.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier, this was sort of the bridge that led you to Elvin Bishop.
Yeah, it was. I had actually met Elvin already, and he was signed to Capricorn Records that was based out of Macon, Georgia, and they had their own studio there. And Elvin was based out of the San Francisco area, but he had come down to Macon to record a couple of his albums for Capricorn Records. And then I knew some people there at Capricorn, so he invited me to come sing some background vocals on his records that he was doing there. And it went really well. So then in 1975, he invited me to join the Elvin Bishop Band.
Nice.
And that's when I left Memphis in I guess it was late 74. I left Memphis and went to the San Francisco Bay Area and joined Elvin's band. And then I've been in California ever since.
Nice. So in Memphis for a cup of coffee. And then to but then of course now, as I have two guys in the band with me from Memphis that have been with me for a long, long time. So it seems like the Memphis connection keeps reoccurring in my life. Well, there's just a hotbed of musicians here.
Well, it is.
As we've learned because of this podcast, going all the way back to the 60s, they're still still playing and doing it.
It's awesome. Great music town.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, above you in the back on the wall, is that Vital Signs? I see?
Right there. Where's Vital Signs?
Yeah, is that?
Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, so that's Jimmy Jameson, another great Memphis connection.
Yeah, so tell us how that happened.
We were... Survivor was recording at the record plant in Sausalito, California, which is right outside of San Francisco, and really close to where I was living then. I was living in Marin County, which is just north of San Francisco, and so we worked a lot at the record plant as well. I mean, a lot of people did. It's one of the more famous West Coast recording studios ever. A lot of history and a lot of great music's been made there. But anyway, Survivor was working there, and a guy named Ron Nevison was producing the album. And Ron Nevison had produced the first two Jefferson Starship albums that I did. So I knew Ron really well. And I had met Jimmy briefly before that when he was in a band called Target.
Yep.
I believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so I happened to be in the studio and they were working, and Nevison says, "Hey, you want to come over, throw on some background vocals on 2 or 3 of the songs we're working on here?" And then I reestablished my friendship with Jimmy, and then got to be really close with Frank Sullivan, who was the guitar player in Survivor, and Jim Peterick, keyboard player. And we got really close. And then I got to be really, really close to Jimmy over the years. A really very dear friend. And
that album, Vital Signs, is arguably the best music Survivor ever put out. It's my favorite.
Their best. Yeah, I think it's their best record.
Yeah, and
sure.
it's amazing.
It's got, High on You, The Search Is Over, Can't Hold Back.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough I think I sang on all 3 of those background vocals.
Awesome.
Yeah, Jimmy comes up constantly on this podcast because there's so many musicians that played with him over the years. He had a cavalcade of great musicians that, whether it was touring or solo albums,
just a great voice.
Yeah.
Great voice, unique voice, and just a super nice human being. A very humble guy, as I'm sure you guys well know. And we were just we were really, really close, really tight. My wife likes to tell a story that we've been together for 25 years now, but when we first got together, she came with me to one of the shows I was doing with Jimmy. And Jimmy was backstage, and he met Rachel, and he says, "I can tell you're a nice person." He said, "But don't you ever hurt my brother. If you hurt Mickey, I'm going to come looking for you." He said she remembered that forever. I have a great photo of my wife Rachel with Jimmy. It's just one of my favorite photos.
That's awesome.
It's a great one.
Well, I want to take you back to the mid '80s and see if you remember this tour, because it has been a minute. But I had the pleasure of seeing you with Starship at the time. And the Outfield opened for you guys here in Memphis.
Yeah.
I believe the show, it's been so long that I'm not sure I remember where it was. I think it was at Auditorium North Hall.
Yeah.
But it was such a great show, and you guys were really hitting your stride at that time. I mean, you had radio hit after radio hit. That's how I knew who Starship was. That's why I went to the show. I loved the Outfield as well. But do you remember that tour?
That was probably the summer of '86.
Okay.
And, we were getting ready to go out on the road, as to tour behind. We'd had the great success with the Knee Deep in the Hoopla album. Yep. And we were trying to, and the Outfield, they opened the whole tour for us, the whole summer.
Awesome.
So we got to know them really well and got to be close to them, Tony and John and the guys, and they were great. They were English band, but they sounded very, very American.
Yeah.
So that was a great experience, and they helped us sell a lot of tickets because that song of theirs, it kind of exploded.
They had a huge hit at the time.
Yeah, they did.
Sure did. I don't remember.
Lose your love tonight.
Many cover bands do it to this day. And I've played in bands that does that song. It's such a popular song. But going back to Elvin Bishop, you said you were a backup vocalist for them, but you're the voice for one of their biggest hits. So how did that work out where now they put you up front? They started putting you up front. You had a few singles. How did that happen? Why did they push you up front for that?
Well, when I first joined, it was as not just as a background vocalist, but I did a lot of background vocals, but I also did a lot of harmonies with Elvin, and we did a lot of duets together. And then, and right from the get-go, I would do leads in the live show. I would do, and on the first album, which has Fooled Around and Fell in Love, I did lead on probably about 4 songs on that album. So I was already, doing some of the leads, and when we decided to do Fooled Around, that was kind of a last minute thing. That was the last song we recorded for that album, for Strutting My Stuff. The great Bill Simzik was producing the album, and we sort of thought we were done with the record. And he said, "Well, it's all pretty good," but he said, "I think we're kind of missing a piece. Do you have anything else, another song?" to Elvin. And Elvin had played me a rough version of Fooled Around a couple of years before that. And so I mentioned to him, I said, "Well, what about that Fooled Around and Fell in Love song?" And he had kind of forgotten about it. So we started playing it for Simzik in the studio, and Simzik liked it a lot. he said, yeah, that's it. That's cool. That's the missing part we're looking for. So we kind of worked it up real quick and recorded the track. And Elvin started to sing it, but it just didn't seem that it was like suited for his voice, being the kind of song that it was. And so Simzik suggested that I give it a shot. And I did. And I was kind of champing at the bit to sing it because since I had brought it up anyway, obviously I wanted to sing the song real bad.
Well, it's unfortunate, Mickey, that song never really caught on.
Yeah, right.
So we did it, and it was the vocal is basically 2 takes. Up to the solo is like 1 take, and then after the solo was another take.
Nice.
And I might have fixed a word or 2 here or there, but that was basically the whole vocal.
Yeah.
And and you're right. It was magical.
Yeah.
We kind of felt it when we were recording it. Sometimes you can sense when you're recording things that something special is happening, that's kind of like above and beyond your control, or like the energy's coming from somewhere else. Some magic is happening, and we sensed it with Fooled Around, and fortunately so did a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Well, good for,
and that's just opened up all the doors for me.
Another song that is covered a ton by so many bands.
And good on Elvin to let it happen. I don't know what his character was like, but he clearly was a giving person, because a lot of guys would have wanted to be on that hit, but he was quick to just give it to you and let you have that shine. Well, tell us about Elvin and that relationship. What kind of guy was he?
Very, as you said, a very giving person, a person who always wanted to collaborate, always wanted to share, and he would never wanted to hog the spotlight. He always liked to share the spotlight with, and that's why the whole Elvin Bishop band was such a great band to be in, such a talented bunch of guys. And Elvin was just a really, really good human being, good person. I keep in touch with him to this day, and I consider him a very good friend, and we still love each other.
Good deal.
Awesome.
So in total, how long was that run? How many albums did you do with them?
I did 3 albums as a member of the Elvin Bishop band, Strutting My Stuff, which had Fooled Around and Fell in Love. And then the follow-up album was an album called Hometown Boy Makes Good. And then we did a double live album called Raising Hell, which is a fantastic live album.
Cool.
We recorded it. We recorded it in about 4 or 5 different venues. We recorded, one of them was Alex Cooley's Ballroom in Atlanta, Georgia, which was a very popular place to play back in the late 70s. So it's just, and a lot of people tell me that it's one of the greatest live albums ever, and I have to agree.
And back when it was live, right?
Oh yeah.
Now live albums now have a lot of trickery, and they put some post production on it, correct? But back in that day, it was from the board.
Yeah, it really was. We didn't cheat much.
Yeah,
and there was no such thing as auto tuning and all that.
Oh, right. But you have some bands that will re-record parts in studio.
Yeah.
But we get it. But well, that's amazing. And then next is Starship. I see you joined in '79.
I joined Jefferson Starship in '79, and that was just kind of a bolt from the blue.
So you were? Was it Jefferson Starship at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna get into the names and how the trademarking and all that stuff as to why you need to be Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. We'll get into all that too. But I see Marty Ballin and Grace Slick had left.
Yeah.
So who's Marty Ballin? Was he the original male singer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Marty, he was in the Jefferson Airplane as well. Uh-huh. And in Jefferson Starship, he sang Miracles and Count on Me and a lot of the big hits from the mid 70s.
Okay.
But he had left, and Grace had left, and the drummer was in a bad car wreck, and he couldn't play anymore for a long time. So they but the rest of the guys, there was some question as to whether or not Jefferson Starship would even carry on at that point in time. But the guys who were still left standing at that point, Paul Kantner, Craig Chiquiso, Pete Sears, and David Freiberg, decided that they wanted to carry on, and they brought on Ainsley Dunbar on drums. Mm. And then they invited me to, come and meet the guys, hang out, jam, possibly sing with the band, see how it would work out. I was very hesitant at first because I just left the Elvin Bishop band, and I didn't see how my musical background and where I wanted to go musically was going to fit in with where the Jefferson Starship was, or what I knew of them, of their music. But I thought, what have I got to lose? I'll go and meet the guys and hang out. And I did, and we smoked one of Paul Kantner's joints, which was pretty strong stuff. And they started jamming on Jane. They played me a rough version of Jane, and I thought, boy, that's not what I was expecting to hear. Because I just knew them of, like I mentioned, Miracles, Count on Me, the kind of soft rock ballads that Marty was known for, and then some of Grace's stuff. And then they played Jane, and I went, whoa, that's pretty cool. I didn't expect that. So we started jamming on Jane, and that's when I thought this could actually work.
Nice.
And then the next thing you know, we're in the studio working on the Freedom at Point Zero album, and the first song we recorded was Jane, and it was the first single from the album, and it kind of set the tone for us for the new Jefferson Starship.
So you were on their radar. They reached out to you.
Yeah.
How cool is that, right? I mean, talk about getting a phone call.
Because they were based in the San Francisco area, and I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area as well. And so they kind of knew of me. And I think one of the roadies brought in a tape for some of the stuff I'd done with Elvin and maybe my first solo album. And that was what, that's what piqued their interest originally.
So yeah, like you mentioned earlier, Fooled Around put you on the map. Was that the break?
Yeah.
Was that the break for you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So eventually Grace Slick rejoins in 81. Is that correct?
82.
82. Damn you,
maybe
Wikipedia.
It was late. I think it was late 81. She started hanging out around the studio towards the end of the recording of the Modern Times album. And then she, and we sang, that's when we sang Stranger together. We sang a song called Stranger, which was the first thing we did together, which was a song we recorded towards the end of the Modern Times album. And then that went really well. And we discovered that our voices really sounded good together, had a good blend together. And she said something like, boy, this is not the same band I left. She said, it looks like you guys are having fun and you're getting along and everybody's happy and you're making good music.
Well, it's Paul Kentner's joints. I mean, let's go.
That too. Everybody be happy. But and she had also spent the time away, in rehab for a while and straightening herself out and getting off alcohol, and so she was ready to resume being in a band again. So she said something to the effect of, "Hey, are you guys looking for a female background vocalist?" And we said, yeah, maybe. And so she officially rejoined the summer tour of 1982.
Okay.
And then we started working on the Winds of Change album right after that.
You should have made her you should have made her audition. Like, we're gonna have to audition you. Sorry.
Yeah.
But so at this point, has the name changed to just Starship? At this point?
No. Grace and I, when she came back, we did 2 more albums together as Jefferson Starship, Winds of Change, and Nuclear Furniture. And then by the time the end of Nuclear Furniture, most of us kind of wanted to, go in a new musical direction. We wanted to experiment with a lot of the new sounds that were happening in music at that time. A lot more electronica, computers and samples and sequences and things like that, and maybe and use some outside writers. And Kantner just wasn't going for that. So he said, well, I'm not going there. I'm going to take my ball and go home. So he left the band, and but he didn't want the rest of us to carry on either.
So being a founding member, he owned the name. Was he the sole owner of the name?
No, not the sole owner. He and Grace and manager of Jefferson Starship, Bill Thompson, they own the name.
Okay.
And so that's when we decided. We had been toying with the idea of just shortening the name anyway, because at that point, everybody we just kind of refer to the band as Starship. Even when we were Jefferson Starship, they say, "Oh, Starship's coming to town. Or are you going to go see Starship tonight or whatever?" And so we've been thinking about it anyway. So we were able to just kind of work that into part of the settlement agreement with Paul, that we would retire the name Jefferson Starship and nobody would use that name anymore. And we would just be Starship from that point on.
Okay.
And then, so when we came out with the Hoopla, Knee Deep in the Hoopla album, as just simply Starship. And then that had, we built the city on it and Sarah, to our first #1 singles ever.
So
my daughter's name is in no small part to that song.
Yeah.
She is named Sarah, and that song played a role in her getting that name.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
and then
cool.
And then Jeff bawled his eyes out at the wedding.
Yeah, I bet.
But
so
the nitty gritties of the business is always intriguing to me. So when you start now Starship, you've settled out with Paul. Now it's a new entity. Does it get new ownership? Does that get realigned? So now are you part owner, founding member of the new entity? Is that how that works?
Kind of.
Kind of.
It became very convoluted. As far as the touring revenues from that point on, we formed a separate corporation for that. But the recording contract, as we move forward as Starship, we still had the same record label. So the recording deal was still under the Jefferson Starship Inc. Entity as a corporation.
Okay.
So we kind of had to go through a couple of more lawsuits around that.
Yeah, because
yeah.
I mean, you're making new albums, but yet you're making new albums, but he's still getting a piece, right?
Yeah, and it got really messy. And then when we officially disbanded in 1990, we kind of just all went our separate ways, and nobody thought about continuing on as Starship. So until I started doing it in 1992 as Starship Featuring Mickey Thomas. So then I actually own the Starship name now. But I continue to sort of attach my name to it. I don't legally have to do that. I could just say Starship, but I do it so as to try to clear up any confusion that might be out there so people know who they're seeing or what they're going to see. Because as you know, there is another entity out there still performing and touring as a Jefferson Starship, which I think is illegal, but they're doing it anyway. So anyway, sometimes there's some confusion, with the public.
Yeah.
I hear all the time, like, people go to see Jefferson Starship and think they're going to see me, and then it's not me. So that's why I like to say Starship Featuring Mickey Thomas, so people can make the distinction between the two different bands.
Famously, the Temptations had this issue, and so many other bands where who owns what, and but you're smart to put your name on there, and the fact that you own Starship is great, though. I mean, you are Starship. And
that other act doesn't have a Jeff Adams or a John Roth.
That's right.
That's a big deal.
That's right.
They don't have a Jeff Adams or a John Roth or a Phil Bennett on keyboards, who is a great player, or Daryl Verduzco on drums. Which absolutely. They are. No offense, but what really gets my goat is when they start trying to. Well, they don't try. They actually perform Starship songs in their live show now, and it's not a pretty sight. I must admit. and I'm not trying to be ugly about it or mean about it, because I see this stuff on YouTube, and I'm just thinking, like, you guys should maybe stick to what you do best and kind of leave the Starship songs alone. Because
that's a nice way to say it.
Yeah.
You can't replace Mickey Thomas. You can't.
In 92, when you start this iteration of the band, who are the members at that time?
That was Daryl Verduzco.
Okay, so he's been with you since
me for over 35 years. Phil Bennett on keyboards, who has been with me for over 35 years.
Awesome.
And then Jeff Adams joined in 2000, so he's been with me 25 years.
Wow.
And John Roth came along in 2013.
Nice.
So 12 years for John. So I like to keep the same people together,
Sure.
if I can.
Who was your first female vocalist that you had with you?
When I first restarted the band. I did it for a few years without a female vocalist,
Okay.
with just
Okay.
me, and I would do both the male and the female parts on like Nothing's Gonna Stop Us and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. But then I had a female vocalist for a while named Stephanie Calvert.
I
Who's a
remember her.
great singer. She was
Yeah.
really great. I've had nothing but great singers as far as the female vocalists go.
Sure.
Stephanie for a lot of years, for probably, oh gosh, 15 years. And then I had a singer named Sean Coey with me for about 3 years, who was a great singer. And now we have the new girl who's
Okay.
actually been with us for 9 months now. Chelsea
Okay.
Foster. Chelsea lives in Nashville, and she's a great singer, great energy on stage, very charismatic, and a lot of fun. So people are going to love her when they see us live.
Awesome.
So again, because of the podcast, we've got to know John Roth and Jeff Adams, and I get
Yeah.
to see Jeff Adams way more because hanging out with our good
You're a lucky
friends
guy.
Donna Felt, Jimmy Felt, Paul Moreau, and Jeff
Yeah.
Adams. That's a core group of people that like going out for dinners and hanging out. So I've
Yeah.
got to know Jeff more than John, and I love him. It's always a laugh with Jeff, but of course we're picking his brain about you, right?
Yeah.
We want to learn about Starship. Oh my God, he's the bass player for Starship and working with Mickey
Yeah.
and all this stuff, and always great things to say about you. And also, one of the questions I always ask, and most people ask, and especially singers want to know, is he singing album key or are you tuning down? You are
Yeah.
full on album key. You haven't
Yeah.
lost a step. That's remarkable, because in general, your music is not easy to sing for most people,
No.
and here you are
Yeah.
all these years later, still killing it at the same key, and no shame to dropping down half a step to E flat or
Right.
whatever. No shame in that at all. Most
No,
are doing
there's
that.
not, and a lot of obviously a lot of guys do. A lot of my peers, a lot of the guys that I know do, and I get it. I don't blame them. It's
Yeah.
just as we, get a little older, age a little bit. It's hard. It's hard to keep
Yeah.
singing things in that register. And I've been very fortunate to be able to, have my voice stick with me. It's been really good to me. And as you mentioned, we do everything in the original recorded keys, and hopefully I'll be able to keep on doing that for as long as I
Yeah.
continue to do this.
So I'm sorry, Jeff.
I was going to say,
Go ahead.
my bad.
Go ahead.
Speaking of John and Jeff,
Yeah.
obviously the instruments they play, they're top notch at that, but they
Yeah.
also can sing their asses off.
Yes. Thank you.
Did that play into your hiring them? Did you know about their vocal abilities as well? Or was it just, hey, John's this amazing guitar player? Did the vocal ability play into your decision?
I knew about Jeff's vocal ability, and
Okay.
that definitely played into the decision because we have a lot of harmonies, a lot of background vocals, a lot of big vocals on Starship and Jefferson Starship music. So Jeff's voice was an important factor right from the get-go. My drummer has a really good voice as well,
Sure.
and keyboard player sings. John, when he first came on, I just needed a guitarist, and then I found out after the fact what a great singer he is.
Yeah.
And you're right, he's really, really, really good singer.
Yeah.
So that just helps. So everybody sings, so it helps to make it a really full vocal sound on stage.
Now, my question in reference to Jeff, do you have to hire a separate tour manager to just wrangle him? Like, do you have a guy just on him the whole time to make sure that he's plugged in? I love you, Jeff. I know you're watching. I love you, man.
It's not a bad idea. Actually, no, Jeff, he's just a very humorous guy. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
He's fun. He's always laughing and joking, and he's a prankster and a practical joker, and that's his nature, and we love it. And he's silly, he's goofy. I wish you could have seen him. We just got off a cruise that we did On the Blue cruise, and one of the groups on the cruise was recording a Christmas song for their new Christmas album. So they had some people in the audience who knew them. Some of the girls dress up in these cute little Santa outfits, and wouldn't you know it, Jeff Adams dressed up like Buddy the Elf from the Elf movie.
Love it.
And he was in the audience as Buddy the Elf, and I couldn't even look at him. It was so ridiculous. But he embraces it, you know.
Yeah.
That's Jeff.
Yeah.
But you're right. I am going to get a separate Wrangler for him. That's a good idea.
It'd probably help. You know.
Yeah.
No, we love you, Jeff. So I'd be remiss to not include here and mention the show coming up. In the intro, we promoted it like crazy, but you know, me and Jeff are going to get to see you guys in action. Fall Fest, Saturday the 18th. It's at the campus of Catholic Church of the Incarnation, which is 360 Bray Station Road, Collierville, Tennessee. Showtime is at 8:30. Tickets at fallfestmemphis.org and starshipcontrol.com. We're so excited. I've never seen your band. I've never seen Starship live. And then me, Jeff, our significant others, Donna, Jimmy, other friends, I think Paul, Moreau, are all VIP. We wanted to get the full experience, and it just timed out so well that we were able to connect with you and have this interview. What a great way to promote the show. Not that you need this podcast to sell tickets, but if we sell one ticket for you, Mickey, we're good. Yeah. Right.
Okay, absolutely. You know, we want to.
And that may be exactly how many we sell.
Nah.
Well, I know you'll be there, so we're going to have fun, right?
Absolutely.
And I guarantee you the band's not going to disappoint. You know,
no.
It's a great band.
The last time that I saw you was 1986, but I have seen many live videos that have been posted of this current lineup, and you guys crush it. You're just an amazing group of musicians, and you just do a killer job.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. They are.
Yeah, and tell us about Epcot. We know a lot about your shows at Epcot. Again, going back to our friends Donna and Jimmy, they have gone to so many Epcot shows, and this is an annual thing that y'all have been doing for some time now, right? Tell us more about Epcot.
Yeah. We've been doing that show at Epcot for 22 years. It would be 24 consecutive years, except for a couple of years of COVID where we weren't able to perform there. But aside from the COVID years, we've been there for 22 years straight. And it's a different kind of a show. You know, the format is 3 30-minute sets a day. So, which is very different than any other shows that we do. We come out and do 30 minutes, and then you're off for 45 minutes, then you do 30 minutes, and you're off for 45, and then you do 30 minutes. But the production is great. It's at the venue is called the American Garden Theater, and it's a great, big, beautiful stage and great sound, great lights. And it's a really good experience. And what's different about it, what's cool, is that having done it for so many years consecutively, we see a lot of the same faces, you know, every time we play there. So you kind of get a different rapport with the audience. It's unlike any other show you do where you say, "Oh, hey, there's so-and-so, you're back again." You know, we see you here. And people tell me they plan their Disney World vacations around when we're going to be performing at Epcot. Yeah. So it's like a family affair.
I know Donna and Jimmy do.
Yeah.
It's absolutely an annual event for them. So
yeah.
But man, I'm doing the math in my head. This incarnation of Starship featuring Mickey Thomas has been like 33 years, right?
Yeah.
All the years prior to that and all the projects, my goodness, sir, you are just a legend as far as time and effort and not stopping the train. And good for you, man. That I wish I would, a lot of people would give anything to have a career like that. But at the end of the day, it takes hard work and commitment. You have the goods singing wise and musically and songs, but boy, it's a lot of work. And what has this journey been like for you?
You know, you're right. It is a lot of work. It gets harder as we get older. But I've been at it since the Elvin Bishop band on a professional level for 50 years. So, so it's been an amazing journey. It's been a crazy journey. You know, I consider myself to be a very fortunate individual to have that my life and that my career has taken the road that it has, and I've been able to come into contact with so many interesting and unusual characters along the way. I mean, not too many people can say they shared the stage with Elvin Bishop and Grace Slick. So,
Right.
Right.
that's kind of like one opposite ends of the spectrum. And
Jeff Adams.
and Jeff Adams. Let's not forget Jeff Adams, Buddy the Elf. And so, yeah, it's been a great journey, and I'm just so fortunate, and I'm blessed that my voice has been good to me and has allowed me to continue the journey for this long, and to hopefully we'll be doing it for quite a few years to come. Because I mean, there's no end in sight for me. As long as I can do it, I intend to keep on doing it. I intend to do that. So why not, right?
Yes, and
I enjoy being on stage more than ever. The travel gets more difficult, because the airlines. I mean, flying is not what it used to be.
Right.
So inconsistent, and a lot of hassles and problems that come with that. But that's the hardest part of what we do is the actual travel. Being on stage is the easy, fun part.
We always say that's what you get paid for.
Yeah,
you would play for free, but you get paid for all the other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and we can't wait to hear you on Saturday, the 18th.
Great. It's going to be a blast.
Yes, man. It's going to be so much fun. Again, it's at the campus of Catholic Church of the Incarnation in Collierville, Tennessee. Show starts at 8:30. fallfestmemphis.org and starshipcontrol.com for tickets. Also, there's a big cash giveaway. It's $10,000. The drawing is at 8 p.m. A raffle ticket's only $5. You do not need to be there to be present. So, boy, oh boy, go see a great band and win 10 grand. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, man. Why not?
Absolutely.
Well, such a pleasure.
And honor.
Yes, 100%. And we're so grateful for your time. You've been a lot of fun. Next time you come through Memphis, let's do this again.
Why not?
Let's do this again. Maybe we'll get you in studio while you're in town. How about that?
That'd be great.
We might even bring Jeff Adams along.
Yeah.
So, that would be so much fun.
Just to keep things, add some brevity to the situation.
So you've got to know us a little now. You'll see us at the concert. You'll understand that we're not total weirdos. So, you're more than welcome to the studio. You can trust us now.
Okay, you got it, man.
Well, once again, Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. Check them out. I mean, go to their website. You can see their tour dates. But specifically for us, they're coming to Memphis, and we're very excited about it. Again, Fall Fest on Saturday the 18th. Mickey Thomas, everybody. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
We don't have our sound effects.
And no kidding, Mickey. Such an honor to talk to you, man. I was 16 years old the first time I saw you perform. So I can't wait to see it again.
Thank you, man.
All right, y'all. And as always, check out the rhythmsectionpod.com. That's where you get all the good stuff for the podcast and all our channels, Apple, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube. And thank you again for watching and listening. And once again, thank you for your time, Mickey Thomas. Y'all take care
everybody.
Now. All right, bye.
You got it, man. Yeah.